to the debates. Hagan, Rongo, Achampon, I recognize two from about it. Dignity of the presiding. Yes.
Made by the First Deputy Speaker is that the motion leader and second objection. There's no dispute at the minority. Please, Honorable Minority Leader of the Speaker, I'll come to you. Deputy Minister, just a minute. We've gone past this. It's not compelled. Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, acts of the First Deputy Speaker, which gave rise to the controversy. Square one. Practice that I know one of the Constitution. You have just interpreted to is that move the motion. They did say. Oh, Mr. Speaker, President is being said. I don't, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, given be recognized Honorable Acham.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, the Speaker, when a ruling goes, he won't accept. Mr. Speaker, you just gave a ruling. Mr. Speaker, you just gave a ruling. Unless the minority leader did not understand your ruling of Mr. Speaker, the Speaker has a. And I'm saying that chair at that balance. So it's in control. You want
Decision of the Speaker in respect of 122 deals with interruption, but Parliament, the staff that support us, committees, that is as contained.
Mr. President, 2025. Mr. Speaker, the House. Aside, I had my colleague, Honorable, said when I want to help him read from the account of, and our national mama did exactly after statement exactly after statement. So the president did not throw his hands in the air. He did not come here to lament. He told us the current state of the economy will face this mess. That he should stop lamenting on him to fix it. If it is not broken, you don't fix it. So we thank you very much for admitting the mess created for all of us. Mr. Speaker, parent, he is going and deputy ministers promise the people of this country, together with regional ministers, and indeed, as we speak, we have 56 ministers appointed. Mr. Speaker, that I want to give you 10% pay rise. He is going to appoint about, and the end has just 988. And that. So are you for punishing you out to this level? I'm called Feed Ghana program. Will coming down is 23.8%. 27, 20 for all the friends. We left this one account. 143, we left this one account. 143 million in the CD account. 64 million in the CD account. 64. How? Extended and a problem for all. How? Extended and a problem for all of us to attend. All of us to attend. That is stable. Which we are talking about our food import. It's stable. Which we are talking about our food import. What we all want. So, but don't please, if Speaker, how much are we losing? First captured as a ghost. Take money to control. Accountant General was crashed. Accountant General was crashed. But and reality has dawned on all of us. And the results is out there. The verdict is out there. Some says the verdict is out there. So, Mr. Speaker, the President provided reset this Speaker. The President provided reset this economy. We were part of the economy. We were part of the process. Our program, process. Our program. 1,000 businesses will be subject or not. 1,000 businesses will be subject or not. And now, Rwanda is part of it. And now, Rwanda is part of it. To China, limited, and as if this move to China, limited, and as if this program, you are going to safety. We have to make sure that they put so that they will know it. So, Mr. Speaker, I will thank them. We all know, come and tell you, and feels it. That's what the nation.
Quick. Be quiet.
Number 4.
Be quiet.
Number 4 at.
Mr. Speaker.
Or at.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. You've been given that opportunity to also think. Thank you. Been given that opportunity to also think. But what did we see? But what did we see? These promises. Mr. Speaker, in addition.
Yes, please.
Very heavy. Mr. Speaker, in addition.
Yes, please.
Very heavy expansionary fiscal policy agenda. The President says far. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, please.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, clearly, we in the MPPC, we did not lament. We acknowledge we did not go to the IMF empty-handed, but we went with that. Truly, the data is. Mr. Speaker, report was done. Mr. Speaker, report was done. We saw the bleeding. The person of Nanado Dankwa Kufuado. Oh, 67.5 private sector in the from Bangladesh presidencies again. For us to witness what we saw, haven't forgotten about that. Let us remember, we needed a bold and haven't forgotten about that. Let us remember, we needed a bold and decisive leader to stem that me. We were to say end from them. Inside this country, gets back to Ghana, he closes that end, left in the city. Such to a nearly in the sinking fund. You have several accounts which you can keep money. You have several accounts which you can keep money. This is like money. This is like we all know how President Mahaman saved. We all know how President Mahaman saved. We think that yes, it is true that when due for us to pay when we inherited the for us to pay when we inherited the reins of government was $1 billion. Reins of government was $1 billion. And we did. We also $1 billion. And we did. We also put on that grew by. We also put on that grew by to be an economy. An economy that put on that grew by to be an economy. An economy that in 3% economy and 3% economy outward. So. That as we were domestic presidents will have to come again. Or acknowledge 9% participation with just 93% of the work. 93% of the work. Mr. Speaker, with their great program, but let me ask us, which president, except President Mahama, except President Mahama, except President Mahama, who name. That's expecting from. Let's be real from. Let's be real. And we want a growing confidence. Fiscal discipline. President to strengthen the government, be creating in keeping with the national dialogue. I'm very, very happy that he said that listen, because in place
some of you was if what
yesterday I heard that in places where His Excellency the President is in his manifesto, that in places where His Excellency the President is in his manifesto,
upon Nkrumah to the
to the motion in the House, whether they heard the president, that was motion in the House, whether they heard the president, that was running also indigenous and foreign cow consolidation was not in this Ramani Mahama in 20 know that this Ramani Mahama in 20 know that former president. You can check Hansard. There's a similarity in the Chamber of Parliament where necessary. Mr. Speaker, lost in many people were aimed on the cost of living crisis, and that if he's then here at the time lamenting, didn't kill it. When he mounted the podium to spend time debating, did anybody hear the president explain how he's going to tackle electricity tariffs that keep going up? High food price. Move some of the pillars ATS was doing now is building program, which was in importing. We are waiting to hear currency will not soon. We are waiting to hear currency will not soon to support the currency by unemployed. Soon to support the currency by unemployed. Terminate the one of those jobs. He'll the press terminate the one of those jobs. He'll the president, the public outline, hoping to hear that that is going to balanced account. Did not tell us the country that I don't assumed of. He came back when he left at 6.5 work. He found out that blaming the past committee and those of you don't even know the detail. You're told that by now Parliament them has come before us. It's voted so that we can have an opportunity. Major things that I want to draw the government ready. You don't need lots of people. Rather, you talk to spend Parliament cases. We should spend more time. We'll spend less time, more time. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to contribute to this.
And I get the worry Ghana City's debt. He came here. My understanding, he is going to fix. He came here. My understanding, he is going to fix them. But he said no. Take colleagues have. But he said no. Take colleagues have. Mr. Speaker, 16 total debt from the left into total commit debt has that Nana Akufo-Addo, and that Akufo-Addo and Bawumia government has ever done that. The records are CMEX never conducted Ghanaians. As at the time, then speak now. Investigations. We resolve that promises, series of promises, road rail sector with several billions of promises, series of promises, road rail sector with several billions of dollars. How do we have to show? Is it from Hungary? We have to show. Is it from Hungary? But we're going to fix. We are capped and the drip that the big push. We are capped and the drip that the big push is about 85%. How road net reason at the time Akufo-Addo stood at 6,000 rollings. The road constructed has not been valid. It is also important. One is the total network. What is 8,000 roads? One is the total network. What is 8,000 roads maintained by a road anything road sector, and how we need to come together. I was expecting that in Ghana. Let's come. We never did that. There was this. So infrastructure, railways is very fun. For people up to speed age, that is very. I wouldn't want to, in conclusion, are concerned. And that one is in history and in serious debt sites. The road technology. So you in the minutes and so on for the delivery and put people.
Honourable members, it's now the
Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker. I appeal the President to constitute our job. So in this regard, right up on our job. Issues he skipped. The President acknowledged he skipped. The President acknowledged. He failed to acknowledge. But Mr. Speaker, he could, since he took over, he could not. Mr. Speaker, he could not. Mr. Speaker, he would have started seven people the Ghana arm if he reigned. The Ghana arm if he reigned. That Anglo Gold Ashanti, the party, had posted 200 of dividends because hands in decisions. Failed to be, the president had forgotten. Perhaps failed to be, the president had forgotten. Perhaps, Mr. Speaker, another dialogue. I note today, dollar Hope City, the first president with the, Mr. Speaker, 2 million, Mr. Speaker, through 10 years, but courtesy by the stroke of pen, saying that NDC is saying that is to their day, Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. 2024. Their salaries is pop 2024. Their salaries is pop hands to see. Hands to see. As we speak, you have them. Today you have direct. You have them. Today you have direct. Today you have direct. Persons in crowd the job. Persons in crowd the job cuts. That at a place like the energy ministry, the world is energy to renewable, into oil. How do we compete to speak truth to the Ghanaian people? By making sure that we explain to them why we make certain appointments. That we explain to them why we make certain appointments. Except to us, in his press statement. In his press statement, he has need explanation into a discharge and what more. And Mr. Speaker, this very what more. And Mr. Speaker, this very that has anticipated and Mr. Speaker, that has happened. First, and so Mr. Is it type in the history of car party to type in the history of car party to it is when will not that the NDC's manifest that in Oka the president ought to have acknowledged that in Oka the president ought to have acknowledged that. That way, Mr. Speaker, we were fair acknowledge that. That way, Mr. Speaker, we were fair have truth at the moment.
From the guide, I have on our question.
Thank you to Country Excellence in
7 states of the nation. 7 states of the nation. Hammer maybe into which reality of the that nowadays in secondary school. It is not as in country to the Muhammad. It is not as in country to the Muhammad. Constitute better than the one. Ghanaian government collapse of an economy. The collapse of an economy was leaving power. Our colleagues, Mr. Speaker, which is a size of your GDP. Those have to spare more than 4 with it, Mr. Speaker, because the fundamental earn far more than you earn. Since the year 20, the 19% healthy primary interest payment or primary by 800 at all. That president was on head of the as Mr. President billion Ghana cedis to the agreement they reached maturity period. Our age, Mr. Speaker, these have been out through press that. So this compares Speaker to 5 ministers. They try to parliament in our history. Now, Mr. Speaker, call them 125 minutes. You are going of politics reducing the week. Because Mr. Speaker, fiscal appointees under President Kufuor classify a total number of President Kufuor. Classify a total number of people who work and 37. And Mr. Speaker, good facts. Mahama was much to lament and say it means one thing. The Speaker, in previous times, they have 7th October. They have 7th October. You are time out. You are time out. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, a paltry 64,000 for them to be able to sustain it. I thank
the address and the classmates, and because of putting, I have been put government having to deal with some cases, analysts are all to which test is once had the opportunity to take our own system. IMF is about fiscal deficit. They let and today the 5% the economy and Mr. Speaker of the negative fiscal balance interest 14 about debt to GDP ratio. The fifth balance interest 14 about debt to GDP ratio. The 55 14 about debt to GDP ratio. The 55 non-rebase know what we left. That is the most important thing. Which during President Mohamed Tawani. That is the most important thing. Which during President Mohamed Tawani international reserves of exchange rate depreciation because 7 to note. Mr. Me is due for structure, Speaker, and is due for structure, Speaker, and Mr. Speaker, the number of young people who are, Mr. Speaker, the number of young people who are not employed today. For the first, not employed today. For the first, it is in $2009, 18.7. It is in $2009, 18.7 billion, which is that is important. Government, this market, Mr. Speaker, borrowed. From Mr. Speaker, borrowing on the domestic period, talking about a lot. Seeing there is talking about a lot. Seeing there is a minister artificially managing. There is a minister artificially managing the market. Inflation at minister artificially managing the market. Inflation at 20. The economic artificial and it's 27 on the OPT. If the OP market operations, which is in the rates, it's artificial. I mean, that is with the Ghanaian people. Let me give you the data, Mrs. 2000. Let me give you the data, Mrs. 2009. The year 2010, it's 7%. But Mr. Speaker, by 50, they increase electricity tariffs, but increase electricity tariffs. Cumulative involvement in the DC. This electricity tariff cumulative involvement in the DC. We started projects. Mr. Speaker, the government, Mr. Speaker, to the financial system, force traceable level. There is system, force traceable level. There is the sector. And even when they decide to absorb the excess liquidity, Mr. Speaker, and even when they decide to absorb the excess liquidity, Mr. Speaker, between two economies.
Yes. We've come definitely that members, I'll proceed to adjourn. Members, I'll proceed to adjourn. Sitting is adjourned accordingly.